Oh, no times for predictions. We are going over. Yeah, we have Armani versus Kirania, both played in the World Cup.
And Armani, he technically played one game today, but the stats are not ready yet. So technically NA for him, but we saw he won 2-1 against Fene. So we're just going to put that in. So 66% win rate. And the rest, you know, we can just imagine how he played. Probably going to be pretty good.
Probably.
Kirania, we obviously have a bit more stats.
We do. There's a 40% win rate, which is pretty strong in this competition, I would say, with a 55% precision, 36 guesses with 4.5k scores or higher, and the average guess time of 27 seconds. To be honest, I thought Kirania would have had a shorter average guess time, but yeah.
We obviously didn't see every single game he played. We saw the game earlier against Zigzag where it definitely was a bit quicker, especially in the moving game. I don't think we saw that much. But in a no-move game, he took a bit more time, found that nice US round, but in the end, Zigzag. A bit too strong in NMPZ. Just kind of, you know, was in the flow. And I think that is a big part of, you know, just being in the flow, winning your game. Kind of easy if you're just making good guesses.
Definitely. And here are the standings so far. We have Armani with his first game so far, so makes sense to be down there on the leaderboard. There's a lot more games to play and build that up. And we start off in Australia.
Mount Frankland is very big. It's a very big national park. So I think both of them will know where this is. At least Kirania, obviously, being from Australia, I just realized. Armani, not really sure.
Definitely. It sounds familiar to Armani. You can tell it's somewhere here. He's thinking to himself, scanning along there.
Kirania really gives him a lot of time to find this. I think if Kirania insta-sent this location, it could have been
well, as someone from Australia, you would probably just assume everyone knows that.
Yeah, it's hard. But now Armani actually finding it in the last few seconds. So it could have been maybe 1k points. Because it doesn't really look like it's the southwest. Because it does not usually look that green. So, but still, nice little 5k for Kirania. So maybe that gets his confidence up. And he doesn't really know what Armani found or not found. So for him, it's just, okay, I did good in that first round. Yep, he didn't see Armani struggling on the round. So that is good.
Nope. And we are in Austria here.
We have Vienna signs, I think.
I'm not sure. I didn't see any.
No, they don't seem to have the number, but both of them sending.
Both sent it anyway. Makes sense with how it looked. It was very modern rolling landscape, which you find in the east a lot in Austria.
Yeah, and as we expected, not a lot of moving going on really. Now Armani actually, you know, going around, maybe using that knowledge to his advantage.
Yeah, he's definitely someone who likes playing United States and probably knows a little bit more in this country. Therefore, he's trying to make use of that. It does
say DC Attorney General on Armani's sign, so he definitely should know that it's Washington, DC. I hope he read that. It's a very subtle
I didn't notice
name.
It, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very subtle, but I think it was noticeable, and
he saw it, okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
both
they are both
Washington.
In Washington. Makes sense. We had the DC. And Armani, again, it's maybe just a confidence type of round where you get this flawless off and jump into round 3.
Actually, the entire car blurred here, as in a lot of African countries. And there might be some information on Armani's screen.
I didn't see any useful information there. However, we should be in Nigeria here. Those signs usually contain good info, because they usually tell you in which state you are in Nigeria.
Yeah, both of them really struggling to read it, because they're like so far away from the road. You kind of have to like squint your eyes and try to make out what name that could be.
Yeah, but we saw Kirania.
I like Osogbo with the very green coverage anyway. I think if you have very super green like foliage like this, it's either max east or near Osogbo. So, and it seems like he read Osogbo somewhere, because he's looking for the smaller town name now. So I definitely think Kirania is somewhere close to it.
Somewhere around. However, Armani is a bit more east in the country. And it was indeed in Osogbo. However, it was on the other side. It was
the other side.
As far west as it could have been in the
still
state.
1.8k points.
But yeah, he's happy to pick that up.
Ooh, we have a tracker here. We see the hair instead of the car.
Yeah, we have this tracker along the whole country, I would say, in Israel.
Yeah, this tracker goes the whole way. So maybe just going Jerusalem. That's fair enough. And it looks like that hilly region west of the city.
Yeah. Of course, you still have your surroundings to look at rather than just the hair and the tracker. Based on that. But it was pretty far north in the country, yeah.
Probably as north as it can be. And actually getting 600 points in Israel. Not the worst.
I think the tracker just starts there and, yeah, goes along the whole span. And it happened to be very far north. On that one.
We do have an interesting round here with a very low-lying sun. Which can make things a bit harder to look at. Because you can't really judge how green is something really. Does it just appear a bit more greener because of the way the sun shines on it?
Yeah,
looks like we're in Colombia.
Quick, yeah.
This gravel road is very common.
Struggle to get out of the town because I don't see them moving quick, because the location like this, I don't know, I want to get out as quick as possible to find
where are you going there? It looks like there's nothing here.
At the same time, I don't think you will find anything soon.
We have a max south on the border.
Not sure on which side we are, and it was the opposite side.
That might be enough to take the game, and it is.
That was game, yeah, wow. Maybe Armani thought there is something that looks off. And
maybe he even thought about Ecuador, because Ecuador can be a bit similar. Yeah,
I don't know, maybe it was the car license plate, because it wasn't yellow, which it usually is in Colombia. However, it was a pickup truck. And those pickup trucks usually don't have those yellow plates in Colombia.
Yeah.
Just maybe something that threw him off there.
You can mention that for a lot of countries where, you know, like vehicles have different license plates depending on what they're used as, if they're commercial or if they're taxis. Usually that varies from country to country. So it always have to keep that in mind. But jumping into round number 2, or game number 2, I should rather say. It looks like we're in Malaysia with that
definitely
marker.
Yeah, we have
not quite sure where we are.
Which will probably tell you good info if you could read it, but in this case I don't think they can. But at least it will tell the country. And
I don't see a black sticker, but it's like mainland to me. But we have a water guess.
Sure. I'm not sure. Okay, based on how the road looks, I would say it's mainland, but everything else looks... Okay, it was mainland.
Armani opting out to just be like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take the L regardless. You have to get it right, not me. But he got it right.
Yeah.
We're in Ghana again.
Back in Ghana.
Nobody looking at the tape though. Oh, now we have a quick little look. It looks like a very big city, so I kind of like the accent.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the tape is definitely helpful, not only to get the country.
Wow, okay, I did not really see that being that north. So maybe the tape would have helped.
Yeah, it would have helped
northern
because it would have been a bit more scratched.
Yeah, but even the coastal areas near Accra are dry, and the north is dry, so no, not the worst if you think about it. But it obviously looks bad from an outsider's perspective, but from a GeoGuessr player perspective, it's pretty normal that things like that happen.
It does happen indeed. And we have an Albania around here. With this architecture, it should be Albania. And yeah, just a capital guess from Kirania. Armani, also in the capital county, but pretty far south. They both end up in the same place.
Interesting, we were on the lake. Couldn't see the lake, sadly.
Couldn't see it either, no.
Because I think with the lake, we would have seen a lot of very close guesses, just because there's not that many lakes in Albania that are this big.
No. Definitely not in that size.
We have Gen 2, and that looked like a SAS plate almost.
Yeah, Saskatchewan does make sense here.
We have to be very far north, just because this doesn't look like the dry plains. It's very wet.
Also kind of hilly.
True.
Big bodies of water, also something you see more in the north, as we can already see on the map here.
Kirania actually lying, and they're both in the same town. Funnily enough, they're both looking at...
Yeah?
Armani seems to have found it.
They just decided to 5k this one, why not?
Find it. If he actually
Is it really though? Because he's on the east-west road.
Okay, that could have been too good if both of them just randomly zoned to the right town. It is Buffalo Narrows, I think the town name is. Can't really see the exact name.
Yeah. But yeah, makes sense to be north. As I said, with the big bodies of water around. You consider that. And we have a very rural location here. First start from Armani is Czechia and Kirania still looking around.
Yeah, they have a pole top
information out of this.
They have a pole top ready to see. I can't really make it out. It could just be a Czechia one. Kind of see the crossbar.
Yeah. Not many countries do have this one, but definitely multiple.
I don't know if that's Austria or Czechia.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's Austria or Czechia, but...
Who's close is clear. It's Kirania, but I don't know who's in the right country.
Geographically closer, that's really what matters.
All that matters in GeoGuessr duels.
Judging by Armani's reaction, I kind of think it was Czechia. Speaking of Europe again, I kind of like the UK guess just because of the type of road. Type of person working on the road.
Very lush green, these walls around, these trees along the road. Everything makes sense for United Kingdom. I thought we are a bit further south in the country. However, we have a
water guess and a water guess.
Okay, they are both not too sure. I thought it's a bit more south. It is Ireland.
A bit more south in Ireland.
Wow.
And the water guess pays off, or technically was on Isle of Man, but Isle of Man doesn't have Gen 4 coverage.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a water hedge.
Definitely knew it's not there, but sometimes it's just a good place to take a guess down and be on the safe side.
Can't really speak against 1k points.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Definitely. And what are we looking at here? My first thought was Romania, but...
This looks like Carpathian Mountains near Ukraine. I kind of like both of their guesses.
Yeah, definitely. See that.
It's not Carpathian Mountains. It is Carpathians, but not Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean...
But again, that is 1k points. Not a lot of difference in their guesses, really, but... Kirania, you know, just playing it safe in the middle every time, and so far it has worked out, but on the high multis, he can't really afford to do that a lot of times.
Definitely from now on. I mean, he can play the safe route, but at the same time, he has to get somewhat close, because there's 4.5 times the multiplier on the damage now. We have some very big mountains.
Yeah, speaking of maybe going the wrong end, Norway is one of those countries where people like to go max north and south. And pro players are not exempt from that one. It happens to everyone. I kind of think it does look northern.
I do agree. I go north here. I don't know how
as we know, anything can be reality in Norway.
I like Kirania
just going middle now.
I like that guess. I think he's still on the safe side, but at the same time, pretty close to where it could be.
I think if it's north, it is where Armani is. If it's south, it could just be game for Kirania.
Yeah. It was way further north, but Kirania's still in a position where he survives, so...
He played it very safe, but as you just saw, he just lost his entire lead by playing it safe there.
Yeah.
Armani, you know, just full sending it every single round and paid off in this one.
Definitely.
And now everything is possible. Especially with Russia? Or something in Eastern Europe.
Took the lead. My first thought was Sofia or something. I thought of Bulgaria.
Some language available to the players.
Could also see Russia, maybe. It's...
I just didn't see anything on the car, so I just assumed it.
The poles were round and not square. Just a bit
Arkhangelsk. quite like that with the like marshy.
Yeah, also these trees
there
are very low, so we could be somewhere in the north.
We have both
they
players
both
in
end
the
up in
town.
Archangels then.
That would be quite crazy. And that would mean that we definitely see a round 10. Final round where Armani would have the lead by a few points. And now we have Kirania switching.
Russian pole.
So we think we will see the game regardless of where this location will be.
Don't like it. Yeah.
Is Archangels Kirania will be not happy about that switch. He had the right idea.
All. I don't know what his thought process was there.
He tried to hedge both cities, but
yeah,
I think you just have to commit one of them.
You're not in a position with 5 point, like on those multipliers. You can't do that. Have to.
We should be happy as viewers because that means we will go to final game of NMPZ, and let me tell you, these guys are good at NMPZ. So get ready for this final match.
Yeah, if you want to pick 2 players to end up on a NMPZ game, then those names are up there. Armani versus Kirania on an NMPZ will be a good watch, I would assume. And
we'll see.
We are starting off first round.
Starting off fun. Looks like in India.
Yeah, by default you should consider India here.
We have a...
Not sure.
Sao Tome doesn't have very green coverage like this, I think.
I don't think this could
no.
ever be Sao Tome.
Please don't. After I glaze them being good at NMPZ, surely we don't see Sao Tome on India.
Yeah, no. He's just playing with us. He's playing with us.
Yeah, it's fine. They like to tease us.
Yeah.
As to where in India this is, your guess is as good as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Cambodia, also an option. It could be Cambodia.
I was thinking about Cambodia. Those were my 2 guesses.
He's between all the countries right now. He's going through, and he's going to Sao Tome. That's like the only country I don't really like. He's switching. I hope he's switching again. Yeah, but he's not sure. Kirania is very sure in India.
It was Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, something was off. We did consider a lot of countries, but I did not think about Sri Lanka. But
see, this is why I couldn't place it in India, because it wasn't. Obviously, if it was India, I could have told you the 5K, but...
Give me 10 guesses, and none of them will end up in Sri Lanka, that's for sure, but...
If you have country guesses, yes, then it would have been somewhere on the list, but...
Maybe, but...
Because there's not that many countries with this camera quality.
That's also true. But if you have to spread it out in the country...
We have so different guesses here in India, by the way.
Oh, that was a very committed guess by Kirania. I don't know what he saw.
He saw some hills and thought it would be just a ridge to the very north.
Yeah.
Maybe he has looked at coverage there before, which can always be a thing they take into account. No. That's gonna be half of his health gone.
Yeah, and we move on to... Seems like a Spain round. These buildings definitely look like Spain. My first thought when it did load in was Portugal, but I like Spain more now.
Especially with this type of road. I think just the pavement looks more Spanish, if that makes any sense. And we have a switch to Italy.
Oh, no, he's not happy.
I think he's still in the game.
He's giving up his lead, but still in the game.
Armani not happy. I think he's a bit nervous because he's switching a lot.
Yeah, this does not look like the Armani that I know.
Armani I know is just sending it in 5 seconds and usually he's right.
Yeah. He's definitely probably nervous.
Have 2 completely different guesses again. We will probably see the game here if they stay where they are right now. We have a Bulgaria guess and an Austria, and honestly, I can't really tell you where this is.
I mean, I don't like the Bulgaria guess here. Yeah, Slovakia makes more sense because this gravel road and the field doesn't look Bulgarian to me. However, the mountain range combined with the summer coverage is something you see a lot in Bulgaria.
I thought about Hungary, Romania here.
Yeah.
With this type of road, but...
Then again, this mountain in Hungary is very unlikely, so Czechia, Slovakia, Romania are things that I consider. It was Slovakia, he was on it.
He switched off it again.
He was on it. He was very, very close there, and he switched up his guess. Really not the best thing to happen, considering the fact he's already nervous and not locked in, and after something like that happens, it can throw you off. We are in Japan, anything can happen here. We don't have any poles to work with. So it's a pure vibe guess, I would say, you have to put down.
Armani's just, okay, I'm slamming it middle. He's like, what am I looking at? Both of them very in the middle of the country. Maybe Kirania moves a bit more east. I could see this being North Coast. Yeah, it was North Coast because we did have a very flat area and mounted southeast, which is very common around that Niigata coast, going all the way up.
Yeah, definitely way more big valleys in the north, but yeah, it could have been anywhere.
You don't really want to risk it on a round like Japan, especially if you play NMPZ.
And another
countries that are very hard to region guess.
Another round where the country is straightforward, but the region guess is...
Okay, this game is killing me.
It's not south though, right?
Armani, wow. He's on it. See, that's Armani, I know. Insta-sending Thailand, getting that close. That is a very impressive guess.
Definitely. Armani did strike back there. Had a rough start into the NMPZ game. But yeah, he did show off that he is an NMPZ player, as we saw. I mean, it's a good... Sometimes it's a good thing that we can see the plonks before they guess. Sometimes it's not so good. On the South Tommy round, it was not so good. On the Slovakia round, we could tell he did consider that area. So definitely, yeah, a very interesting game. Not as I expected it to take his pace, but I'm happy that we had such a good game to see.